With more than 20,000 restaurants for you to choose from, it's no secret New York City has a thing for food. While the dishes and restaurants usually get all the fame and glory, it's actually the people behind the scenes that make the magic. Author Ina Yalof scoured the city to find just how they make it all happen. She shares their stories in her new book, Food and the City. Thank you for being here. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
So you did intensive research in 5 boroughs for this book. Tell us what people can expect when they pick it up.
Well, it's an oral history, which means that the people are telling their story. I went with a tape recorder after I found these people, and I asked them questions that I had researched beforehand, and they spoke into a mic. I edited it down, and they are literally telling their own story.
Because this is not a picture book. These are their words.
Yes, exactly.
And it's everything from street vendors all the way up to 5-star restaurants.
Yes, I have restaurateurs, I have line cooks who tell fascinating stories of what it's like to be in a kitchen. I have the chefs, but I picked all chefs who are not the ones who, as I said in the book, have eponymous salad dressings or cook lines. So these are really interesting chefs that you've probably never heard of. Every one of them has passion, and they have an amazing story to tell.
And what surprised you the most?
I'm sorry?
What surprised you the most?
You know, probably how much passion it takes to have a career in cooking and a career in being a restaurateur. You really need to have that devotion and dedication.
And these are some of the pictures from some of the places that you visited in the book, of course.
Right.
How did you pick the people that you featured?
That was the most fun in doing this, was doing the research. I started out with a list of people that I thought would be great for the book, and I threw it away after the first couple of months because mostly people tell me about other people. I actually followed my nose once when I came up from the subway, and it took me to the halal guys because I was smelling the onions. I was walking down the street and I saw a line on the Upper West Side. I followed that. It was Levain Bakery, the women who make those fantastic chocolate chip cookies. So you really, it's New York. It's a real New York story, and I just wandered the streets and spoke to people, and that was really the fun part.
You also, there's an interesting chapter about Rikers Island.
Yes, that was the most fun that I had in doing the research. The woman, her name is Paulette Johnson, is in charge of the food services there, and she serves 47,000 meals every single day. That's to the inmates and to the guards. And here's this little 5-foot-tall woman. She's from Jamaica, and she's so unobtrusive, and yet when you think of the magnitude of what she's doing. So I had the opportunity not only to interview her, but to go out to Rikers Island, walk through the jail. It was an experience unlike anything I will ever have again, I'm sure.
I can imagine. Tell us a little bit about why you wanted to tell these stories. What do you hope that people who read this get out of it?
Well, the reason I started this book was I had lived in Vermont for 9 years, coming back and forth a little to New York, but when I moved back here, I realized it was all about food. This is Food City. I mean, everybody knows that. And so people were photographing food and sharing food and eating food, and it was all about food. So I thought if I was interested in what's going on, if I ask the questions of things that I want to know, then the people who read these interviews will know what's going on behind the scenes.
And the people were forthcoming with what it's tough work being in the restaurant business.
It is, and they're, especially, as I said earlier, the line cooks, their stories were fantastic. One person talks about the fact that you have to say yes chef or no chef. He said, I cut the tip of my finger off. I put it on a zinc bar, and they say if you're not dying, you go right back to work.
Oh my goodness!
I know, but they're funny. The stories are funny. They're compelling. They're so interesting. These people that you pass every day that really put your food in front of you or are responsible for putting the food in front of you. Those are the stories you're going to read in this book.
Wonderful. Ina, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. And for more information on Food and the City, you can head to our website, cbsnewyork.com. Cindy, over to you.